All right, all right, all right, all right. We're back. Let's get into it. So we need to make these items. Hi, Polly. We're good. We're doing good on this stuff. So we're actually within our goal. These we want to put in royal garb. These as well. Royal garb. Okay. Before I do that, let's unwrap each individual element. So for this one, we'll do. I'd rather have a seam that kind of corner here. This one doesn't need it. All right, this should be easy. Unwrap, select them all, and pin straight. So we slap a subdiv on there. I may not subdivide these ones. I want to add them to the high poly. These ones I will. And we'll clean them up a little bit too. And then for this, maybe just a cut here. All right, do something like that. Pins, straighten. These are fine. We don't really need to adjust these. Yeah. There we go. Excuse me. Like to know. Hello, Era. Welcome, welcome. I did. I did. Now I'll get a little sleepy because I just ate. My least favorite thing about having a body. Sleep. Hmm. These are flipped. Breaking my rules about not having energy drinks. Uh-oh. I love energy drinks. But they do not love me, as it turns out. They do not. Hit those. Okay, so those are good. Then we'll do the belt buckle. What does this look like with the subdivision? Quite different. Maybe we would hit it with the bevel instead. Yeah. I'm supposed to be light on sugar intake and try to keep my caffeine intake to a modest amount. It means you gotta go ham. You gotta go ham. All right, that unwraps. Somewhat oddly, though. I can hide it no longer. I am old. Beerus. I'm surprised Beerus isn't here with offering that. Maybe busy today, but also lives in England. Ha! The fool. Living in England. Pfft. Rookie mistake. Okay. These unwrap oddly. Okay. Sorry, everyone. A little quiet just because my brain's slowly booting back up after carbo loading. I ate a bunch of beans and a tortilla. Beans. 0.6. Let me try it again and again and again. I click the button. Click that button. Hey there, Pixie. Welcome. How is your day going? Hmm. Getting a lot of stretching here. That should be this side. All right, so this side's fine. It's this side. To say. It's so slight. Oh, that should be okay. Closer to Friday. Hey, good. Well, 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 well. All right, there we go. We have done it. We have unwrapped that. Now just the rings are left. Ring. And they're done. Alrighty then. So here is all the additional items. Just this left, and we're done. That's how it goes sometimes. Now we need to pack everything into the maps. Right about there. See that where it is. This is going to be a very efficient layout. Buckle is going to be the hardest one to place. I'd say color me impressed, but it's been far beyond my expectations as is. Well, good. This one's a square. There. Fill that in. Which means we can fill this in. Then this guy could come over here. Which means we could probably fit this in there. Probably. That one's going to be tricky. Tetris plays. This might work. Random story time. I worked at UPS for a whole week, and the first thing they asked us is, do I like or am I good at Tetris? I lied and said no, so I didn't have to pack drops. Yeah, that seems pretty labor intensive. Yeah. Postal service seems like one of those places. It's got a lot of undue stress. It lasted a week because the warehouse was hot and sticky, so I told my boss I wanted it out, and he said, well, don't come back then. So I Had some pretty miserable jobs over the years. So this one's my favorite. Whew, we can almost do this. Almost. Actually, this one. Go here. Still some overlap there. So close. So far. Looks like there's not quite enough room. Almost there. Almost there. I believe. I believe. I believe I can fly. Hey, poor Mimis. Welcome back and did you enjoy your lunch? I did. I got some beans, which were delicious. Fried an egg, tortilla, some beans. Simple, cheap, delicious. Sounds good. I had myself a spicy Italian sub for lunch as well. That sounds amazing. Is that a Subway one or? I love Subway. It's been a while since I've had Subway. Now that I think of it, we did it. Oh, now that's max efficiency right there. Ooh, good old Jimmy John. Jimmy John. All right, probably move stuff around a little bit more, but I think we're in a good spot. We're gonna leave it there. All right, so now we want to take the items we added, these ones. We're gonna duplicate them and send them into our high poly. All the fancy stuff. All of it. All of it. So we'll mesh this one, give it the high poly material. Same with this. Combine. Combine. Then we're going to add a bevel to this one. Okay, that's the max bevel apparently. Then go ahead and buy this one. Give it that high poly material. The material is just so we know what's what. Subdivide this one a few times. What's the vertex count on the high poly version? 2,254,304. And we're trying to get under 70,000 in what we'll actually be uploading. So just a little different. So we can just combine directly These ones we have to keep like that. It's a very large number. Yes, it is. It is quite a bit. But we're able to take the quality from the high poly ones, bake it down into a texture that our low poly ones can use. It's madness. Madness. So we're exporting that super high poly one. What was I doing? My brain just turned off. Okay, so we exported the high poly one. Now we're going to export the low poly one. Let me look at the current vert count for the model I'm working on. Heck yeah. 8,100. Well, hey, that's perfect. Are you shooting for a quest version? Okay, let's refresh the mesh. We got our new objects in. Then we're going to go to baking mode. These are probably not going to bake well. Well, maybe they will. A little cleanup needed on the cloak. That's okay. Also, flying by the seat of my pants a bit because I'm still learning. I'm trying to make models work well for animation, so I'm trying to keep it low. Hey, that's a good idea. I think what I always recommend is just like, if you're. Oh, I do see some issues there. Cancel. 0.002. Sorry, got distracted. Just keep it doable. It's much better to finish something than try to make something perfect or push yourself into exhaustion. Just focus on enjoying it and making it doable. Sorry to yawn. All right. We've got our items in our super packed pack. We'll go ahead and say jewelry and include these items in the group. I don't know well, the buckle will be silver. Those will be gold. Say buckle. The only problem is our buckle is backwards. So so to clarify, you are making one for Blender? You're not making a VR chat avatar? Or perhaps both? Fuzzy cam. Fuzzy, fuzzy, fuzzy cam. Bam. All right, back to Painter. Refresh the mesh. Rebake the mesh. Bam. It's for Blender, yeah. I'd like to make animations. VR chat and live 2D stuff is interesting, but I'm not really focused on it yet. Hey, that's super fair. Definitely understandable. You can kind of do machinima stuff in VR chat though, which is nice. Machinima. Machinima. Yeah, No Preem just put together a little animation, which is very cool. Mm. I have to learn how to animate now. Yeah, I'm still working on that. Well, still, having made something is good. It's interesting. Can I see it or is it top secret? It's actually in my Discord if you want to hop in. Feel free to share your work or ask questions as well. Oh, you just did another one, No Preem. Another No Preem animation. Dope. Is that a VR chat world in the background? Made that for my friend. It's to his song. Oh, that's amazing. Well, you should feel proud of that. I'm sure he's pumped. Can't have a music video without visuals, right? Looks pretty cool. It does. Working on another visualizer too. I'll have something else to share maybe. Well, I'm pumped about that. Doing a Red Bull, Joe? All right, there we go. Isolated our trim here. That looks really good. We're also going to create a trim anchor point. So now we can call it our anchor shadow. We'll call it trim shadow. Guess I can post a little whip on the model in your Discord. Please feel free to. I'd love to check out what you're doing. Working on making the armor and clothes. Very cool. Let's check it out. Mimi's. Very cool. I love the design. Oh, she's cute. Very cool. Anime. Anime. Well, heck yeah. I'm excited to see it in motion. I'm very tempted to talk about my favorite software that I talk about every day, which is called AutoRig Pro. If you're ever looking for a rigging solution, I have some that I use, but I won't talk about it to spare my my chat. You will get there, I'm sure. I am definitely tempted to talk about it as soon as you hit the rigging. Yeah, heard about a rig pro. It's the best. Was it from me, perhaps? Shouldn't talk about it until they offer you a lifetime license. Yeah, I really should ask for an affiliate link. Oh, these are overlapping now. Rigging is something I need to learn still, so I'm probably just going to use base tools. I think that's a good place to start. Um, Rigify or just making a bone from scratch. Bam. All right. Oddly excited to rig. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I'm gonna have to rig the model I commissioned, so I'm not sure how difficult that's gonna be. Interesting. Oddly excited to rig it. Hair is very fun. The fizz bones are always super satisfying. Actually, placing the bones and whatnot is fine, but painting, I know nothing about. It's got some issues. There are some things I don't like about it, about weight painting, but it's definitely fully featured. It's just unintuitive sometimes. It's the most alien part. Well, get out of Rig Pro and work on it with. There, I did your ad for you. Thank you, Era. Product placement with Taco Bell. Oh, Interesting. How do I minimize that? I always forget. Linear dodge tends to add together too much. That's going to do it no matter what. Darn. I'll just have to paint it out. Or do I just move it down? That looks odd though. I'm just going to get rid of that one for right now. It's only because it's in the same stack that it's doing that. I guess I could just make a little paint layer below this and just paint it out. That's not bad. Fixes most of it. All right. Multiply mode help? No, because it's the opposite of what you think. Multiply I'm using for the paint in order to erase it, but the mask itself is actually black and white in this way. So what's coming through is the white area. Tricky to get perfect. I think we're close enough right there. All right. Oh yeah, the neck is its own material too. There we go. And looks like we can give it its own material as well, or its own gradient, I should say. Boom, boom, bada, boom. Hello, can you hear me now? There we go. Huh, that's weird. Yeah, I had no indication on my side that it went out. Hello, everyone. I don't know when I went out. Just, I think I was talking about Quixel Mixer. Just saying that it's a good program. That's so weird. Yeah, because my mic was wasn't blinking, so it was still on before the Quixel. Oh, I don't even remember what I was saying. What the heck? What the heck? Well, I tried, but you need Epic account since it's now Epic stuff. Yeah, it's decent. It's a decent program. I think again. I think since kind of wins out in my mind, but it's good. So it's like this. It's a 3D texturing program where you bring in a 3D model that you've UV mapped, and you can paint it and stuff, and it is free. But I believe you do. It does tie very directly to Unreal Engine. The only other tool that I know of, and there's probably more, just that I know of, apparently, not Nomad Sculpt. What is it called? Some iPad painting program, Procreate. You can actually paint 3D models in Procreate, which I did not know. To be honest, I'm really used to Photoshop. I wish I could just use that and have a 3D preview while I paint. You kind of can, as long as in Unity you can tie your textures to your model or Blender, and then you just refresh them. Or I should say, Blender can use Photoshop files. You just need to refresh them and see them. Exactly, Alt R. I'm gonna get this paint for myself at this point. It's nice. It's very nice. Definitely has some learning curves, but you can always tune in and see how I'm putting it together. You. Unity can also use PS files, but this is too nice not to use. I use Procreate for painting my models. Oh, very cool. Only problem is no Xmirror at the moment, although people are begging for it. Gotcha. Uh, that's kind of a bummer. That's certainly a needed feature. Apparently, that's a difficult problem because it's not the first. I think Quixel also had the same problem in the past. Is that had everything except a mirror, which is so funny. I want to use Blender texture paint. I believe in you, it's Snardom. There is the Bee Painter add-on, which apparently is quite good. Can also be a bit of a faff to get Procreate to upscale to 4K textures as it loads up OBJ files in 2K by default. Interesting. Yeah, the memory on the iPod is probably a bit more limited. A bit more limited. Okay, let's boot up the trim. I'd love to paint in Blender too, but I can't deal with the 5-minute wait between brushstrokes. Yeah. Yeah. Honestly, what I'm thinking about now, what you totally could do with Painter is whatever section you want to paint on, you just duplicate that and extract it, and then you just paint on only that section. Like you make a little separate model that's just that section. And that way you would never get any overlap on other things, stuff like that. You bring Photoshop files into Substance, but a bit tricky to go the other way. As long as it's not 4K, you're good. All right, let's get some trim. We're going to take get our anchor shadow template, drop it there. In Blender, I just slap down basic colors, mostly just using skin bucket tool, then move on into Procreate. That's smart. That's smart. But then when painting normals, it sometimes switches color modes or something. Maybe because I switch some textures around a bit when painting, but then at this point it forgets it's painting normals and I get pixelated normals on save. No. Oh, that hurts me. That hurts me to hear. That would be infuriating. So trim pattern, we'll add some fills. I'm going to go with a Celtic knot. It's a bit naughty. Oh. Last time I did normals, I did it by hand in Photoshop. Granted, I was modifying, but never again. Oh, please scale. Please let me scale. Control Shift. Oh, beautiful, beautiful. We'll give it like a gold color. Gold. Oh, that's sampling that. Brighter. Give it some height. Give it some shininess, metallicness. Your PC is in all these layers things. Yeah, it's when I'm adjusting layers that have like a dynamic effect on. It don't like that. Don't like that one bit. I'm going to duplicate trim shadow. We're going to call this trim. It's the trim of the trim. No, we'll call it trim outline. That's a little more. So, trim. Oh, got the review from the VRC Avatar Jam. Apparently, they wanted the Quest version to have better performance. The main model to utilize the SDK 3.0 better. Stuff I'm not too good at the moment. Well, at least you tried. At least you got it in. Um, there's always next time. But I mean, seriously, just having attempted, good job. But I personally wish you'd got had it in. Uh, I would have loved to have been your avatar. Like, I know who made this. Next. Oops. Just gotta try making some that try out different features. I am still a noob after all. But like I said, seeing the other models were submitting, uh, I wasn't surprised. I'm still a noob after all. For now, it's where we start out, but our destiny. It's up in the stars. I don't know. I was trying to be poetic, but mostly just goofing. Hey, but genuinely, like you tried. That is what matters. That is the core of all you can really do. Giving it a shot, seeing how it goes. Not much else you can hope for. How close is Frank B2 on the list? We'll probably be starting either tomorrow or Friday, Frank. That's what I said last time you asked as well. Jams are good practice. You also know some things to work on specifically. Kind of honest food can really be difficult to get sometimes. The first body I tried to make had a million double vertices, and I was trying to remove them all by hand because I didn't know about arch by distance, and then I gave up. That is a challenge. Already, I'm already planning my next two avatars, but I need to take a break for 3D a bit, so because SO wants his wife back out of the avatar mine for a little while. Free. Once I get going, I just turn into an art gremlin for a month or two. I mean, I get that. I get that. It's hard to, it. These kinds of things are just go on as long as you you indulge them. But there's always something more to look forward to. Is really the situation. Did you ever share pics of my very first avatar? I don't think so. I don't believe I've seen it. Any Ludum Dare participants around here by any chance? Or well, I haven't done any in a few years, but I still like those jams. I have never tried. I've always wanted to, but just never end up doing it. There was even like a Austin one in my town. I just it's like, oh, I should do that. And it's like, oh man, I can't really stay up that late. I'm old. I would just die. A bit of stretching there. Looks kind of cool though. I like that. This is looking very regal already. Enjoying that. Save. Literally cried the first time I finished a Ludum entry in the combo 48-hour solo project. First time I actually finished a game for the jam. Heck yeah. Yeah. I mean, you should. That's a challenge. That's really fast too. 48 hours. I'd love to see more VR chat, like game jams. That would be super interesting. Not been able to do any of the world jams yet. Yeah, I always go like, oh, this Halloween for sure, and then it's like already over. Man, when it comes to real clothing, it's the small touches that make the outfit. Indeed. That was the only one I got one in for the Halloween one. I don't think I've even been to any of the entries for that. Ah, this is the outline. Okay. Duplicate this one, move it up a little bit bigger. All right. Regal. Just hunted down some pics. Here's the Skunkly Bear in all its glory. Hey, that's pretty cool. Nice. I like the green pockets, the little straps. Let's strap the antlers on the antlers. This is very cool. Got a good Hearthstone vibe or like a Blizzard WoW vibe. I see a little bird here up top. Birdie. Bird. Wow, Shader Fest was in 2021. They have a Shader Fest every year, I think. Okay. Okay. I was like, I swear that just happened. Well, that was this year at least. Not that it just happened. All right, let's give the the base. Let's give the base some stuff, some height, or just to make a duplicate base pattern. Yeah, I made a low poly Pepe as toggle prop. I thought it was a bird. Burb. Pepe burb. Hmm. Why is there no height? Is there height? I don't see anything changing, but I have a color. But no. This layer took out all the other height. Uh, Trim outline. Trim outline. Pull this out. Delete trim outline. There we go. If anyone ever wants to do a game jam that involves horror or a full game, I got ideas galore. You can have for free. Oh heck yeah! And then back when texture paint actually worked for me. Oh, that's so cute. Wow, those feathers look amazing. Very, very cool. I think I used to paint with a way less lag in 2.7, 2.8ish, whenever it was. Pre 3 at least. Oh, Pepe is a little bird from World of Warcraft. It was an interactable bird sitting on a tree. If you clicked it on it's out in your head for now. Oh, okay. Yeah, because I was like, man, so you I swear that wasn't a frog. It's like, isn't that a bird? When he said his name was Pepe, I was like, I swear that was a bird. Funny. All right, now we got some nice little stitching here. Oh, oh, oh. Okay, there we go. Looking good. We got a nice rich fabric in there now. Um, looks very good. Very good. Let's go ahead and export it and take a look in Unity. See what we're working, what we're twerking with. It's so interesting. I think NVIDIA RTX, that's what I use for my microphone. It must have crashed because I didn't do anything to make my mic stop. I didn't do anything. It wasn't me. Also, Arctic, I really love the phrase stuck in the avatar minds. Video RTX was audio filtering / noise reduction stuff as well. Yes. Yes. I've had really good results with it in the past, but this last 6 months or so, I've kind of been having problems with it. I thought it was crashing my computer, But a buddy of mine had string problems with NVIDIA RTX, resulting in system crashes. Gotcha. Well, if I do crash, it could be that. But think I figured out what the crashing was, for me at least. But I did immediately think that one was pretty suspect. Burb, Barbie, look at him, look at them burbs. Back into Unity. Boom. Okay. Interesting. Oh, it's still the old reflection. We need to go to Royal Garb. We want to go to this one. We want to click this. Boom. And merge. The metallic and smoothness values don't auto update. I have to update it manually when we hop back in. Weird smudge there. Oh, that's a shadow. It's these. These are casting shadows. It looks really good though. Actually, I might have a photo of one of the avatars I did. Character I adopted from an artist friend because when I saw them, I instantly needed to make it for VR chat. That's interesting. Do models have to go through Unity in order to be used for VR chat? Yes. Yes. So VR chat's built with Unity, and then they have an SDK you can upload. They even have something that's kind of like Unity Hub, but it's just for VR chat. But it does the same thing. You can make projects with it, get their add-ons and stuff. It's pretty cool. Oops. Do you have to convert tries or anything weird in order to do it? No, I just use, well, there are some specific settings for your FBX settings. So uh, Unity wants things exported to it in a certain way. So that can be kind of a pain to figure out sometimes. Um, but in terms of triangles, no. Um, the only exception is anything that's not a quad. It can deal with quads, it can deal with tries, but if you have n-gons, so any face with 5 or more vertices, then it doesn't know what to do with them, and it just leaves a little hole. All right, so let's take this shirt and the hoodie. Turn those off. Take the garb, put it on, put it on. And guns are the devil. Appellation, not deer. Oh, let's take a look. Hey, very cool. Oh, I love the hands. Hand antlers. Handlers. I know there's downsides, but people overhype tries, and it's totally not usable MG stuff 3D modeling. Yeah, tries usually fine as every quad is you tries, 100%. And you can specifically use them for certain shading effects. Flirts. This is really good. I love this graphic. Hand flares. I love that. The handlers are holograms. I love that. I don't want this pattern on here, but it does look good. This one's missing a material. It's missing a material? but I have it on the same material here. But it is missing a material. Okay. Boom. Boom. Love seeing all these models, by the way. Yeah, me too. It's really cool. I love everyone sharing everything. It was very cool. To wow Pepe, I am a respected commander. Run my garrison with firm claw. Treated with honor and reverence. Some of my troops can feel pride. Oh. I love that drawing. Oh, that's really cute. All right. Our boy's looking sharp. Super sharp. I'm gonna hide these. Well, maybe later. I should have just done that. Only the wings won't work properly, but now we can get kind of an idea of what that's gonna look like. Dope. Mega dope. It's gonna look amazing. That's what. That wing ran away. Yeah. I'm just gonna be over here. The buckle's in the wrong spot. Let's go ahead and revert that. Not the wrong spot, because we're going to have to do some adjustments for that. Looks like the piercings here also came out a little strange, but they look amazing once they're plopped in. Gotta run off now. Need to start cooking. See you later. Hey, thanks for hanging out, Arctic, and sharing your work as well. Have a great rest of your evening, and hopefully we'll catch you tomorrow. Bye, Arctic. Bye. Going for quad general is good practice, so I completely agree with keeping it simple. I have the uses. I just keep trying to keep things simple as quality as possible. As I learn, I just know the game items generally use tries with the rules. I've seen some people do some cool stuff with tries, specifically in anime model, to have certain shading effects. It is all about just like the final image, right? You know, if you couldn't see a try, and it's fine. And a lot of the times to like if you have like a cheek, either on the face or the butt or whatever, if it's not tries at certain angles, then it will look jagged because it's all quads. So you kind of need a triangle, need to make some of it try in order to smooth it. I like some tutorials with good topology for animated anime. It looks like tries are unavoidable when doing that, so I might dip my toes in relatively soon. Dip your toes in the Tri River. So a few other things to change. Don't forget when modeling, your traits can turn into quads with a simple subdiv. Yeah, the teeth, I'm actually quite proud of the teeth in my model here. They're quite optimized. And I'll probably be doing a lot more of this, but originally had just straight lines, but I just collapsed them and they retain the form super well. But it's about a quarter of the amount of total triangles because I just merged them together and collapsed them and stuff. I think that came out quite well. Like even the teeth right here on the side, it's like you'd have no idea that they're triangles because it is all triangles at the end of the day. Okay. Work, work, work. Like, well, let's actually swap it. Triangle are pre-crab shapes. That's nice. Here. So the roughness is a little much. Edge dampness. And that one. Leather color. There. A try turns into a quad, turns into a cube, gets deleted, becomes crab. I mean, you can see that they're a proto crab because they've got the claws. That's a triangle shape. Pinchy, pinchy. There's little metal studs along the length of this here. So we'll go into the belt, make a flat template for studs. Isn't nature beautiful? Free me! I don't want to be a crab. No, but tell us. We did skip hexagons as bestagon. YouTuber. I should. I should circle I can scale. Whatever. We'll just do a circle. Circle. No repeat. And we'll just move it around. We'll start. More of a nonagon myself. Is that nine-sided? A nine side? It's also what is one of the enemies in a Critical Role. In the last Critical Role campaign. It was fun. As if trades are crap, then endgons are shadow over Innsmouth's abominations. May need to make my players fight a Hexagon Vestigon now. I demand it. I hope they aren't here. Levels just for the base color. I'd just like to push it back, please. I can't for some reason. Why would that be? Because it's a mask. Huh. Interesting. Depends on which group you're talking about. Group number 1. Group number 2. What if we just switch this to the outline? Not bad. I could still put this here, slap it with an inverse subtract, or just subtract, and just lessen it. So you get some difference there. A little bit of an edge. An edge. All right, there we go. And then I'd like a band on the edges too. Stream group. Group. I'm on the edge of glory. Belt edge. And add a belt to here, not to the main one. No repeat. Let's add one more fill. Put it below. Make it white. And then on this one, I'm going to set it to subtract. It's just a little simpler. Nice. Give it its own height. Kind of push it out a little. Then we'll add a filter to warp. Not that intense, just a little. Give it some wear and tear. And I'll set this to overlay for the base color. Do something nice and warm. Maybe a linear dodge. All right. This has to be normal. And this one has to be linear dodge. Bam. There we go. Then we can adjust the color a little bit. Oh, hey there, Kaiser Punk 1933. Welcome. Welcome to the stream. So, how long did it take you to get used to Blender? I've been using it on and off for about 10 years, but I've only been really serious about it for the last 3 years. I would say to get comfortable using Blender, it would take at least a year, a year of studying it well, um, and just like getting used to it, warming up to what it, what it's used for, how it's used. Um, yeah, a year. Developers 3D model software won't support it no longer, so I'm going to migrate to Blender. Um, as it's free, 3 to 5 years project experience there of 3D, which I use right now. Okay, well, if you are experienced using 3D, then I would say it could definitely take you 6 months, maybe even just 3 months to really get used to it. And you're going to have a huge leg up because you'll know what to Google for videos and YouTubes and stuff. Yeah, I think you'll be fine then. Oops, save it. Yeah, I think a lot of it's just like a way to describe knowing what the name of something is and knowing generally what's analogous in other software. It's pretty easy to find a tutorial. Well, it's a game engine that features 3D was making characters ragdolls from scratch, vehicles, etc. Gotcha. Oh, I see. So the game engine um, may take you a bit longer. But just having some experience in getting assets into a game engine, that's what a lot of people are looking to do. That will certainly help. Uh, but just like any software, there's a lot of nuance to things, and certainly Blender has a ton of like hotkeys you would need to learn. You definitely want to kind of consider it more of like a video game kind of thing, more of a video game in some senses where you want to be learning those hotkeys. Absolutely. It is definitely just a time thing. Um, but gotta say, after using Maya, I do love Blender a lot more than Maya. I think Blender is amazing, personally. I think there's just so much it's got going for it. Um, closest I'm coming from another 3D program is spending a year animating in Source Filmmaker. Well, I mean, that's good experience for sure. Learning how to animate is a skill unto itself. outside of all 3D software. It's like that's animation's hard, yo. Definitely helped me with navigating 3D space though. Yeah, I think when I was teaching classes and stuff, it was people who play video games have a huge leg up. Obviously, not just having some experience, but also just purely being able to navigate a 3D space easily. Like that is surprisingly its own, or maybe not surprisingly, but it is its own skill. Being able to like go into a 3D scene and understand how to navigate it, view things from certain angles, not get nauseous. You know, some people get nauseous. Um, like no fault of their own. They just don't have that kind of experience being in a looking at a screen and understanding a 3D scene from that. All right, let's add some wrinkles to the pants. Yeah, but I certainly wish you well with your learning, Kaiser. Um, you know, there's a lot to this kind of stuff, but that's true of any software. Uh, Something you enjoy out of, and, and you'll get to the end. You'll look good the most healthy. Also, I'm finding out that there was some automatic way to do something I've been doing manually in Blender. I don't think they'll keep that motivation up. One of those things where you think about of like physical workflow, like okay, carving a block of wood or assembling these pieces, but then it just turns out these little edges, and if you think of a system to manipulate that, it's pretty powerful. It's my favorite. Add mask here. Mic cutting out a bit when painting, by the way. Huh. Interesting. It's really hard for me to tell when it starts cutting out, but I'll move the mic a little bit closer. Hopefully that helps. Meeting time, no! I was just getting to pants wrinkles. I wonder if it's just my actual connection here. Let's try switching USB ports. 1 second. Ba, 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 ba. Okay, I'm back. Maybe that helped. Maybe not. I was wondering if it's kind of physical connection. Physical. Hmm. This edge right here, where is that coming from? Is that my... No, okay, that's the gradient. Gotcha. Okay. looks like all the gradients got moved, of course. Okay, let me go ahead and turn on my wireframe. There we go. It's like it's just looking a little odd. And now I know why. When the painting is so good, you can't tell if it's real or not. All right, that's much better. What's been doing 1930s retrofuturism with robot people and late medieval fantasy, like yours here, with capes and headbands and belt trinkets. Okay, I like that. This one is a so mostly for my work. I do our chat avatar commissions. It's actually a commission for a client here, but I like what you're describing. Certainly a good space to be in. I always think of cyberpunk as like a return to medieval, kind of like feudalism or something. Where'd my pants go? Oh, right here. Where'd my pants go? Has reversed ankles. Never done those. Little digigrade. Yeah, here, let me show you. I don't know if you've seen the full character yet. So here's the full character here. We're still, of course, doing the texturing for the clothing. But the dragon dude. Body's looking pretty good. Does the trail retract or something? Currently, no, but I've been thinking of having to do that. They're not really reversed as much as they're high up. Yeah, it's like dinosaurs, dinosaur legs. How many rigs will Tail have? Should just be one set of bones. Hopefully. As long as things go well, should just be one set of bones. I thought I masked this out. Masked. Can't imagine being in a world with this giant big tail sweeping the entire world. The person turns, whoosh, just flying by. One set of bones with one bone for each meter, resulting in 1,000 bones. I've been obsessed with Prohibition era America as a saying we could do some diesel punk type stuff in a setting like that. Oh, I love that. That's really cool. What's that cat one Lackadaisy? They just had an animation come out. They're kind of like a Prohibition dealio. Make this the foot. Lackadaisy is amazing. I personally haven't read too much of it, but I do like the characters quite a bit. I've heard. I mean, it looks amazing. I just don't personally know too much about it. Love seeing web artists team together and doing shows. I think it's the future for sure. I mean, you look at things like Has Been Hotel, and just the way tools are becoming mega cheap and powerful. Indie is the future for sure. And it makes sense too, right? It's like it's the tools you can use as an individual team are going to get more powerful with AI and all that jazz, just software in general. And then like so you actually make more money as with a smaller team. Anyway, I could rant about that, but yes, I agree with you. I want to see more people doing interesting things. Web uh like I think web comics are genuinely one of the most fascinating spaces online because like how many Netflix shows have there been lately where it's based off of like a manga or something? There's like Alice in Borderland, just tons of stuff that's all like based on a webcomic or a manga. Um, and that just blows my mind. Like never really seen anything like that before. Because remodeling feels like heaven after clay anatomy classes. Jesus, that sounds challenging. Stuff like the NVIDIA AI motion capture, no more suits, just your shitty webcam and go. Workflow will change. I don't know if you all been seeing the Wonder Dynamics um, stuff. So this is no other shots, just purely overlaying a 3D character, and all you do is drag and drop replacement, and it relights it too. It does all the lighting and stuff. Anyway, definitely worth checking out. Um, like you can tell it's doing the masking. It's kind of blurry there. But anyway, um, I tried to sign up for the beta, so I want to get that ASAP because I've got a bunch of characters. Love to be able to just film myself, drop it in. It seems like it would be really good for hashing out reference. Well, you can just take that motion capture data right out of it. So even if you don't use it to like relay in the video, you can still bring it directly into Blender afterwards. And then it'd just be like motion capture data. A lot of animation studios use that. Yeah, reference or I think for me I would probably just use it as is because for the most part I think facial stuff would probably need the most tweaking. Um, those bigger studios use 20K upward tracking setups. Yes, and then this one's just any video, no longer needed. Exactly. A weird world. Every person a studio unto themselves. It seems to be the trend. Yeah, I can't wait to try that. Gimme. Gimme. Gimme it right now. You'll be the first to see it once I'm using it, because I'd love to be able to show off the avatars that I'm making. Hey there, Angel Star. Welcome back. And like, especially do some like breakdown on how I make things, but it just takes so long. It's like if I could just really easily make a little motion capture video that I can bring into Blender, that'd be so much fun. Almost at 1,000 points. Getting there, getting there. All right, those pants look cool, but a little intense. So I go to height here and just kind of lower, or I guess normal. Lower that in. I was just selecting the thing. No, it is normal. And just give it just like half of it. Currently saving up to buy Advies for the whole family. So what do you think of my YouTube logo? It looked great. It looked great. Definitely a good exercise. $12,000 channel points. Heck yeah. Heck yeah. I think those look amazing. Nice. All right. That came out super well. 1,000,000 fart redeems. 1,000,000 fart redeems. All right, let's put a seam and then some stitching, whoops, along the edge of the pants. So I'll make another foot. Actually, template, let's use this one. Seam, pants, seam. I'll add a fill. Drop that here. Let's rename this to pants seam. And the fill, what we're going to do is remove this mask so we can see what we're doing. Like that. Move it up. Sorry, that was probably lagging my stream right there. All right, less lag. Now, let's go ahead and set the material to black, to, and then, or maybe even up. And for the bevel, take this guy. I don't know why I'm putting these in these random. Let's take this out. We need the material to also have some height and push in. Bevel can smooth that uniformly. Smooth. Then we can bring that distance in. Now we have a nice little seam. I heard it's a benchmark to texture paint in Blender and Stream. So a hiccup there, and here and there isn't that strange in painting. Well, I'm certainly turning it into one. All right, that looks pretty good. Let's add one more fill. And we're going to put it on the edge of the pantaloons. So now we have from there and there. And now I'd just like to get a nice little stitch along them. Get some water real quick. Oh, no, there's water right here. Behind my monitor. Hidden water. Excuse me. Sorry, cough. Just coughing right into the microphone. Lovely. One more anchor template. These will be pants stitching. Yeah. 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 Just had to think of how I should do that. So we add a fill. In the fill, we add a stitch. We'll do a zigzag. Cross. Like so. Make it repeat only horizontally. Gotcha. So this only blurs. I need to make my own version of this. This is just okay. All right, but now we give it some height. But most importantly, we set it to height place. So it looks like it's over it. I take that back. Let's pull these out one more time. Pants chain delete. There we go. Nice. That looks really awesome, actually. For the stitch color, do black, maybe like a light brown or like a dark brown. Then I'd like them to not have any roughness, just a contrast. Then I need to hide this so we don't lag too much. Take stitch, we'll duplicate it. We'll put one here and then the other here. Let's double check how that's lining up. Bada boom. I think those look pretty cool. All right. Now, oh, now we sneeze. Very important for this tutorial. Now we're going to work on the pants and belts. First thing we'll do, make sure we have height and roughness so we can set the height to place. And they'll be their own thing. Then for the color, though, I like how they look with their normals and stuff like that. Oh, never mind. We're going to put in our own leather. And this one, again, just a slightly different color. Something to just differentiate it even slightly. Then change the contrast and maybe offset it a little bit. Okay. That looks pretty good. Now we want little holes here. Also some outline. Okay. First things first. Boom. PB edge indent. We're gonna add fill. Then we're gonna add a filter for mask outline. Set this to not repeat. The outline do width of 0.01, 0.02, and then simply height, push it in, roughness, very little. Let's add ambient occlusion and give it just a little touch of that. Okay, now we can just adjust these right on the edge. There we go. Delicious. That looks amazing. Okay, now we want some holes. I'll add another fill. Every time I look, I see more detail. The amount of detail you're adding, Sam, is flat out staggering. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Ara. I'm happy that you are excited about it. I'm really enjoying it. This is always my favorite part. Still can't hear. But I want to talk. I want to talk. Okay, that's not quite working. We're going to make a new flat layer. We'll call this, man, what do they call that? Belt holes? PB belt holes. And then we'll paste our mask. Perfect. We remove that from there. It looks very stretched out, which means we need to redo that, make it a fill, use the same shape, the key, but set it to planar projection with no repeat. And now we can move it around a little bit more freely. Stream working for everyone else? Oh, I hope so. I'm alive. There we go. 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. All right, that looks really good. Is there anything else we need to add? Maybe something at the top, like a cinch or belt. At least just some wrinkles at the top. Force refresh fixed it. Perfect. Perfect. Era's back. Return of the Era. All right, let's take a look in Unity. Nice. All right. We're done with the pants. Are pants done with the pants. Ooh, it's laggy. Laggy. Let's close Blender. Okay, so we'll actually just hide the pants for right now. Let's turn our attention to this here. We're gonna add a what is this called? A tunic. And we'll do this one. Oh, perfect. Yeah, that looks amazing already. Wow. I think that just looked amazing right when I dropped it in, so we'll do that. Satisfying. Satisfying. We're going to try to recreate that, but just with a planar projection instead. Yeah, okay, that should work. This this way. I'm really liking how that's coming out. That's so good. Okay, let's see how this is holding up in Unity. Quite well, but too strong. Too strong. It looks pretty one-to-one, which is good. Sometimes it doesn't. We can just go ahead. What? Why did it flip directions? That just me? Did it not just turn around? Are those cloth folds something that you made in the past, or is it part of a preset pack? These are, I did make these, and I made them in Blender. I basically just made a cylinder, and I uh, dropped it, so like kind of simulated the cloth falling so it could compress, and then I'd bake that, bring it into Substance, and then bake it to a cylinder. Because that way, the key part is that it's on a cylinder, because then it will repeat perfectly. Um, yeah, it was pretty fun. I enjoyed actually doing that. I might do some more. I might do some more just so I have more wrinkles. More wrinkles, please. Thank you, Snard. Yeah, did that did that a while ago now, but really enjoyed that process. I think it's really satisfying to like make tools. It's pretty interesting. Is there a name for that technique that I could Google to look more into it? Um, Not necessarily for cloth, but it is just generally the baking process. So baking is that general process, and you can do that in Substance. You can also bake stuff in Blender, but baking is the process of taking those normals, um, the folds, and then baking them onto a flat surface. And as long as your flat surface is a square, then you can just import it like any other texture. I do use Sims for cloth and stuff to bake out, but only use it for hard surface model to make nuts and bolts pop out. But for cloth, I can of course also bake decals. Yeah, and it's very powerful in that way. Um, Especially, yeah. So you just kind of want to learn how to do the baking, and then learn how to simulate cloth, and then those two together give you the ability to bake it out into a set of textures. Then all you have to do is bring it in. Excuse me. We are going to add one more cloth. On the subject of that, is there a way to do that with particle hair? To bake particle hair? Yes. So that one you're just rendering images. You would just want to look up like um, so you can do it all in Blender. You just make your hair strand. If you look up like hair card textures, you'll see the maps that look like this. So basically just take your camera, point it down or forward or whatever, make your little grooves of hair, and then just look up how to bake out each pass. So for albeit transparency, it's just that's just a normal render basically. And then for like a black and white map like this, you can tweak the shaders to give you that property and like the emissive. I wasn't aware if Blender would render a normal properly from a particle system. I believe it does. Um, I've definitely done it before. I think there are two ways in Blender to render hair in Eevee. Maybe this is true in Cycles too. But if you go to curves, strand, the strand setting should give you the proper normals, I believe. Strip means it's using like a flat plane, but strand should give you the correct one. Um, but yeah, I'm pretty sure I found a inspired by your cloth idea. Absolutely, yeah. I think it's very useful to learn how to extract your own tools. Bit tricky, but it works fairly well. It is. It can be a little trickier. I do tend to just do all my baking in Substance Painter if I can, but for the hair, I think you'll have to do that entirely in Blender, um, unless you bake out like the new GeoNode stuff for the hair. You could bake out a big old lump of hair, um, but it's going to be real dense. That might be a lot slower. You could bake the geometry, is what I'm saying, and then bring that into Substance. But that would be like millions of polygons. Probably better to just do Blender at that point. Ah. All right, that looks good. We'll call this one back. And then do white mask. Should be painting that out. Oh, it is. Oh, it's okay. It's just laggy. It's just very laggy. Gotcha. It might. Blender uses the rendering engine cycles to render out normals, so it might be able to render out anything that's renderable. Yeah, like at the end of the day, it's just RGB value. And if you can find some way to get that RGB value into a texture, then that's baking, you know. All right, let's get a little bit of wrinklage on the bottom, and then we're done with the. I'm gonna turn off the cape as well. Just give it some more. Tunic bottom trim. I'm gonna try to get this little bottom area. I'm actually gonna turn off tiling or set it to 4. One. I'm gonna set this to 1. Oh goodness. Boom, boom. 1. Unlock. 10. 2. Let's remove the mask. I think I should restart Blender. Something about this is not working right. Or no, it's squishing the tiling. I thought I'd be able to tile it better because it's okay, repeat horizontally. There we go. Okay. I had turned off the repeat, which of course would do that. Let's crop it to the shape. Down. Let's maybe switch it to -2. Switch this to world space. All right, now we got some nice little wrinkles on the bottom. Would be nice to get them baked out of the trim though. So we'll go ahead and add a mask here. Take it out of those and those. I messed something up. Oh, this is one face. Okay. We need a fill. So let's go ahead and do this. Add fill. Do full color. Yeah, sorry, should have been white mask with a fill, with a black fill, set to not repeat. And then we could just move it right here. Wouldn't white let it through? I'm confused. We'll do subtract. Uh, yeah, I still don't understand why it's masking like that. That seems unusual, but we can work with it. All right. Wrinklage. My favorite kind of wrinkles. Wrinklage. All right, let's take a look in Unity again. It still flipped them the other way. Look, they're not even facing that way here. They're facing that way here. I don't understand that. All right, but everything else looks quite good. A little bit of a poke there. And then also this is different here. Okay, so I think I need to ensure that all my... Okay, now it flipped it. They're on the left side. They have to be on the left side of the body. There's something about that that gets a little funky. Make sure they're on the left side. Oh, I just want to redo that one now. All right, save again. All right, much cleaner. That's what we're looking for. Looks so sleek and lustrous. All right, so we want a different section of cloth here, and then for the gauntlet. And then the neck thing, I'm not quite sure what that should be, this little section up top. But back to Painter. Pants, belt, base pattern, tunic. Tunic is what we are working in. Or I thought it was. It was not. Let's go ahead and set this to multiply for the base color. Then that should be fine. Still getting some odd stuff there. All right. So take this flat template and we're going to say elbow cloth. Then we're going to find that segment of elbow cloth and grab it. Then we do have a bracer. Switch color a little bit, red, and mask it, and then make this the bracer selection. Perfect. So for the elbow cloth, these both should be set to replace, so it doesn't inherit this pattern. So usually a bracer is like hard wood or hard leather. So we'll do that. Get some leather of some sort. I don't think we want it rough. You want a very rich color. But I think if we took the height out of it, it's a little bit more sense. What other leather do we have? Don't like the. I think we can work with this one. Just want it to be a very different color. Their base be a dark brown. I'm gonna look up what a bracer looks like. Some bracers, usually hard leather pulled together and then with stitching at bottom. Okay, so that's what we really need. We need leather, maybe with some. Hey, Sam, keep up the good work. Have a lovely stream. See you around. Same to you, Nguyen. I hope you're having an amazing Wednesday. Hope to see you later in the week, but definitely enjoy the rest of your day. And we'll see you soon. Bye, Nguyen. Bye. Oh, I need a burp. Excuse me. Okay, so we're gonna add some gradients too, because this is way too clean. Let's go to gradient shadow template. This one, duplicate. No, not that. Still can't hear the audio driver on this moment crash can. While I'm in this meeting, have half a moment. I just want to put it out there. You've asked me to charge me based on this. Oh, you've asked me to charge as is, but this is damn near awe-inspiring levels of detail. Thank you, Eric. Thank you so much. May have to look into that for future comms. Too kind. Way too kind. You can't be so nice to me. Well, and flip that. Boom, boom, boom. Right there. And lastly, duplicate it again, move it down, flip it, flippity floppity. Sheer amount of love, care, and attention details. I'm just shocked, flat out shocked. Expect me putting out a full on advertised video after everything's said and done. Thank you. Thank you. Too kind. I'm just doing my job. Just doing my job. Drop that here. Probably just need this, just this one. Make sure to put it on the left side. Flip this around. Ah. Keeps zooming me. Keeps zooming me. Boom. Boom. Bang. I'm back. From outer space. Into a fuzzy. My camera has made me fuzzy. That's a normal. Normal. So I think for the bracer, we're going to make a rectangle around it to kind of imply like a rounded edge. We'll want to use our anchor attempt. Make sure we need to put it into the bracer area and move it above this leather. Or below? Above. Boom. Remove this. We'll call this bracer edge. Add a fill. In the fill, we'll add a rectangle. That. No repeat. And we're just going to move it here and here. Like this. And then we get this nice little bevel. We can duplicate that, remove this, set it to something like this, subtract, or inverse subtract. Yes, yes. Then that way we have control over this material and we can give it some height, push it in, make it rough, not shiny, and dark. Then we got a nice little groove, a groovy. And I think that looks pretty good. And for the shadow here, I'm actually going to make it white. Set it to overlay. Adjust this bevel to it. The distance. Oh, it's laggy. It's laggy. Okay, that should be a little bit faster now. We'll want a slight amount of tear. So a filter, warp. I'd like to make it kind of yellowish. Just play into that leather quality. And for the kind of base material, I think it'd be better suited to being quite rough. Not glossy, but definitely some sheen. Perhaps a Charlie sheen. That's a bad pun. And then it makes me laugh though. There we go. I think I'd actually like to push it out a little bit further even. Turn up that warp even more. All right, now we need holes and stitchings. I'm going to go to the restroom though. I will be back. All right, we back. So now for the bracer, we need holes and strings, or stitching. It's stitching. I didn't think of the best stitch for it. I think we just got to keep it simple. Love to do something a little bit more complex, but all right. House first, bracer. We'll want one of these again. Before I do that, what is this one again? Bracer, edge, highlight. Drag these out. Remove that. Bracer, hole. Add a fill in the fill. We add an alpha sphere, or shape. That's what I meant to say. Actually, yeah, just a shape. And we're going to make it a planar projection, no repeat. Slap it onto the bracer. Shrink it way down. That. Then linear dodge, duplicate. A little bit smaller. So if I duplicate all of these, man, why can't I move them together? All right, one at a time. Boom. Boom. Sorry, take that back. Boom. Boom. Where is it? I do want to duplicate all of them at once, so that way, and they're a little more organized in here. It's going to get chaotic to find things later. Do you use a tablet pen at all? For substance, usually no. If I use if I am doing any sort of anything that requires my hands, it would be in the sculpting stage, and I would do that in Blender to make, like, for example, a little more creases or and oh, sorry. Do I use a tab? Sorry, let me restart that with that tablet pen. If I use a tablet pen, I'm usually doing it for sculpting, and so I would do all my sculpting in Blender, and then just bake that into a texture. That's probably the most I'd be doing with it. And then if I do need something very specific and unique that's outside of the tools I find in Substance, I would most likely make a brush inside of Photoshop first before I paint it in Substance. Because, like, imagine there was like a custom emblem on the forehead or something. It's like if I ever need to go back and tweak that, I'd much rather tweak it inside of Photoshop than try to change it while painting on the surface, because I can always put it on something to one of these things right here and just project it to the head. Just offers me a little bit more control. Have you painted in subs before with a tablet? I have. I have. Usually works better with more organic shape. Wondering if it's more laggy or not. Well, for me, I'm not getting any lag on my end, so I think mostly just affecting OBS. I think OBS is the one kind of suffering here, but for me, I'm uh, it doesn't seem very laggy when I'm moving stuff around. I notice that's more lag with tablet and Blender, for example, compared to mouse. Interesting. That's what I prefer for painting and substance. Fair, fair. Um, yeah, I think I like what like even so like for example these wrinkles here. It's like a lot of what I've found is just that if I can make it in Blender, like for example these folds, these wrinkles, it's like I couldn't paint that like this, not as exactly as I'd want, not with that nuance. It's like, but I can create a system to simulate that cloth for me and get that's very close to what I imagine. Like for example this cloth fold here. um, if I can lean on Blender to do that work for me, I will. Just because it allows me to be very exact. Um, yeah, I think most of the time, if I was to do, like, even if we look at the body, like when I am painting, I'm usually using the mouse because if I go back to Era, Era's body. Also, hello, Era. Welcome back. um, like that time I did see OBS freezing. So it is definitely in overloading my encoding. um, but yeah, so if we look at this edge here, it's like what I'm using to create this edge is a bunch of warp texture. So like filters. Um, I'm a PC crash. That sounds like it could be a catchy VR love song. Um, but so for example, it's like I have these warp layers, and just by painting, I can go ahead and get this like really dynamic effect that is probably pretty close to what I'd be looking for in by hand painting. Like I'd probably use a brush or something, but I can just paint it because all rendering really is like noise. That being said, what Arctic shared earlier with that bird and her painted character, that's that type of rendering. It's like you couldn't do that in Substance with just filters, with just layering masks and stuff. Like that requires actual rendering. So if you are going that direction, like that really hand painted look, like definitely you would require a tablet. Um, but if you're going for a more realistic look with like little tiny speckles of noise and details like that, you can really do a lot with just your mouse and layering noise. I'm a big believer in layering noise. um, anyway, that tangent. Um, yeah, like this kind of stuff. Like I would hate to hand paint this little bracer edge because it's so exact, it's so straight. It would just I would end up hurting my wrist quicker than I could make the shape I'm looking for. Anyway, but I do think about that a lot because it's like, should I be painting more? I don't know. Sometimes I feel like I should. But I don't know if that's just like a I don't know. I don't know. And we'll do whole metal. Why are you crashing PCs? He's too powerful. All of the layers. All the layers. Those seem too big, don't they? Those seem a little bit big. We're going to redo them. And this is why. This is another reason why I end up just using my mouse most of the time. It's like, oh, I have to redo something. Perfect. I'm glad I set up this layer to just take the holes and make the holes. Boom, boom. Big tail too much. What I really need to get is a either a smaller computer or one of those capture cards to hook up so I can just run OBS without having to worry about my computer lagging. Also, probably just make my computer a little bit faster. Or do I need a second computer for that? I need to do that too, methinks. Yeah, I think it's probably the right call. Seems helpful. Oh, I had an idea for a VR chat compromises on tail. Interesting. We'll tell Era in Discord. Do a fill. No repeat. Ah, this is interesting. Should have done a planar projection. Everything tries to get me to compromise the tail. No compromises. Oh, there we go. A shape like that is perfect. And then we'll do that hard. See another example here why I prefer doing this with a fill layer for drawing. Yeah, it's not to harp on that. I do think about it a lot because it's like, should I draw? I end up kind of in a dilemma sometimes. Why would it replace everything? Why? Put this here. Delete. Place. Need to set them to linear dodge. There we go. Bracer. That's how bracers work, right? Yes. Yes, it is. Height here. Push it down slightly. Roughness. Bring the rough. A little bit of AO. Just a little bit. Then we'll shrink this bevel to be right about there. Nice. All right. There we go. I think that looks pretty darn good. Be nice to have a little bit of patterning on the bracer. So that'll be our last step before we move on to the cape, which will be pretty straightforward, and then the jewelry. So once again, grab an anchor, one of these anchors. After I move the mask, we'll say bracer emboss. Then bracer emboss, highlight, or shadow, or whatever. At fill, in the fill, we'll add, I have all these patterns here. These are quite nice. Any other pattern? Could also go bring in somewhere. I do have a few other I haven't used yet. What else has fabrics? I have to remember that. Could use that today. Moon themes would be pretty neat. Okay, we do got a moon. Do got some moon right here. That works pretty nice. I think what needs to go. If I flip it this way on this side, then it's that way, and that's it. No matter. It's mirrored. It's mirrored. Mierda. And we'll turn on the highlight. Anchor shadow. Set this to, we got linear dodge already. Right. Oh, it's for the height though. Linear dodge for that. Bring up the color. All right, that looks pretty freaking cool. Oh, my camera. And then I'll want one little pass around the wrist. Just something to catch the eye. Catch the eye. An eye catcher. All right, boom. Amazing. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the cape. We're going to add a cloth fold template. You know what? As it gets laggier, I am just going to go ahead and close Unity for now. If it lets me. Boom. All right. So we had something we really liked in this here. I'm going to copy that and paste it in the cape folder. Remove the mask. Move this over. So something there-ish. Definitely has to be on this side, or else it goes a little crazy. Then or say 4. Oh, that's kind of cool. 3. A little bit too much. Somewhere in between that. Ooh. Let's rotate it, see if we can find a good combo. Yeah, I like that. Nice. Then want to lower the normals a little bit. Wow, it's so bright. My mouse. That. And then the base color will also lower just a little bit so it's not as shadowed. Definitely something to give it some folds. Some folds. Next, turn off repeat. I will also add a white mask and paint out just a little bit up here. It's like right there. That looks, I really like how that looks. Then I want some wrinklage here, maybe, perhaps. Find out. Duplicado. Remove the mask auto. Let's get rid of this weird little pole shape. Move it up and over. Right, still have it set to there. Let's do 1 1. Not liking that one. I'm going to delete it. We're going to go to the tunic again. I want to copy the chest one. Paste it here. Remove the mask. So this one's more of a straight on projection. Make sure it's set to multiply. It's a little too dark. I'm going to take out the, yeah, much better. Also, it looks like there's some sort of line right here. That's not from this one. It's not from that one. What is that line from? Okay, it is from this. Oh, I see. Where it's projecting from is different than I'm imagining. Darn. Let's go into rotation here. And I am just going to reset this. So 0. 0 and 0. Yeah, that's perfect. Oh, we should move the trim this way too. And then probably around the top, maybe even around the wing holes. Yeah. Okay. Do that in a little bit. For that looks pretty good. Go to normal. Oh, like that. Make sure this is still. I love that. All right. Trim. We're going to add a little bit more trim to the cape up top. So where is my cape trim? Stretches a little. I may need to go back into the UV mapping and fix that a little bit. I'm also going to add a paint. Set this to hard. 0 spacing, UV texture. Paint that in manually. Dope. I'll have to think of something a little bit different for that. Even just a gold thread around the edge would be nice. Just so it's not like a void. Just doesn't just stop. Um, all right, I got another 20 minutes and then we will be calling it for the evening session. But we've made some solid progress. Let's get a little seam or shadow in the middle there. I think we'd have to paint that in. Or do it with a bevel of some sort. I could go in and straighten that out. It's this top part. All right, let's do the UV fixes right now. So I don't have to think about coming back to them tomorrow. Doop, 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 doop. All right. So for the cape, it's just stretching too much right here. So what to do about that? First, let's see if we can just straighten them. Oh, it should be over here. Oh, perfect. Let's do, yeah, let's just do this. Right. That was easy. And about there. Don't have too much space to compress all of this. Unless I can move this back a ways. Let's just move it down. Down. All right. Decent. All right. And no overlap. We're good on that. What was the other thing? It was what we were just looking at. Oh, this little guy. Collar. A little bit of stretching, but now we'll be able to run a gradient on it perfectly. Perfect. All right, take all this. File, export fbooks into Substance. We're doing the low poly, low poly, low poly. I have to say that a bunch of times, so I am just double checking, making sure I'm not going to overwrite my own work. All right, back to here. Refresh the mesh. And then bake mesh maps. Bake. All right, look at that. Clean, no stretching. Very good. And then now we can also take this little gradient we were trying to mess around with and get it right in here. So, what's that? Just any gradient. No, that's where we want it. Why am I confused? Oh, no, right there. And a little bit right there. Also, what is this exactly? Or I was probably going to make it a cloth texture. Should this be something specific? This little neck dealy? Not sure. I considered chainmail for a bit, but I never decided what it is. Okay. Oops. I think we'll just go with the cloth fabric. Not what I wanted. That's really cool. This should be, oh, putting it on the wrong course. Fill. Oh, I'm getting tired. Mm-hmm. I suppose. No. Um, one of those, I left it to artist discretion things. Those artists. Gosh darn it. Fleur de lis, that feels appropriate. I don't quite like that though. I may leave that for tomorrow. Sometimes nice is good. Nice to give artists free reign and see what comes out. Pain, artist pain. Tile. I've already used this multiple times. Ooh, that's kind of cool. I like that. Feels a little modern compared to everything else, though. All right, I'm going to leave that one alone. I'm going to come back to it tomorrow because I think I'm just going to keep futzing with it and not be satisfied. So, I mean, that looks pretty cool. Just having it all the way up. I like the dark color. leaving that alone, moving on to other things. Let's turn on the pants. Boom. Pantaloons. I may actually just call it here. So do I with the dark color. Okay, perfect. I think we'll just go with that then. Oh, I think this is actually a good point for me to end it. Like I feel myself kind of slowing down in my decision making. So call it here for now. Find a screenshot or two so I can share. Absolutely. I'm gonna take them from Substance. It's to you, Era. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and end the stream now. So thank you everyone who's hanging out with me this afternoon. Definitely powering down on my end. But tomorrow's Thursday, and then it's Friday, and we'll be doing some new stuff, finishing up Era. Should be an exciting time. But thank you everyone who's followed. Poor Mimi's, Ron Kick, Snardom, Arctic, Val. I hope you're all doing well. Who else might be lurking out there? Gothic Panda, Snardom, Newen. Oh, Newen already left. Um, Angel Star, Kaiser. Thank you all for coming out, hanging out with me. Again, I'll be back tomorrow. If you'd like to hang out tomorrow, definitely consider hitting that follow button. But in the meantime, enjoy the rest of your evening, and I'll be back tomorrow. So see you then. Bye, everyone. Bye. Bye. Bye.